Hey, Doooovid here. We are live at the Society of Automotive Engineers conference in Detroit, Michigan. Due to the new YouTube regulations, not having 1,000 subscribers, I'm using Switcher OBS streaming software that hopefully is allowing me to stream. Although I don't think I'm going to be able to see the comments if people are watching. So I appreciate you tuning in, trying to give you the best of Detroit. Hopefully I'll get my subscriber count up to 1,000 soon. On the track I got like 60 new subscribers this month, so hopefully in a few months I'll have that no problem. In the meantime, I wanted to make sure I got this convention, and looking forward. You passed registration, pre-registered. Yeah.
So you will go right down here to the small.
Thank you.
Come on down. I see you got your barcode.
Oh yeah, thanks a lot.
Okay. Swipe and you're in.
Thanks a lot. God bless.
Hi, right here, please.
Hey,
how are you?
very good.
Barcode, very good.
Okay, it's pretty simple, high tech here.
Hi.
Hey, God bless. Thanks a lot.
Hello.
Okay.
There you go.
Hey, God bless. Thanks a lot. Great day.
You can go right out this way.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Okay, so Society of Automotive Engineering Conference is actually very expensive, but the exhibits are free, so should be able to go in and see the companies going around and what they're doing. Slot, got security. Who is this dude, Doooovid? But got past security, no problem. Let's see what we got here. So this is the International Engineering Conference of Automotive Engineers. Obviously, even with the depletion of engineering here in Michigan, it's still headquartered here in Michigan. International Conference, a lot of Germans. So what do you got? The 1835 Davenport first electric motor, historical cars, top company. Anyone saw my stream on driverless cars? So here's your Tesla Model S, $86,000. I think this is the one that has options for driverless mode. And I'll go around and see. Most of these are automotive supplier companies, but they'll have. So they have the auto show here in the same room that's very popular, more popular among people, that actually has the most recent cars on display. But this one is more the supplier companies, the engineering. But they do always have cool stuff on display. Not sure what's in this section. Okay. Yeah, they got a demo of cars. I guess you could get in line and demo cars. I'm not sure if these are driverless or what's going on here. Might be a demonstration of a driverless taxi, but I'm not sure what we got going on here. Yeah, autonomous vehicle, data speed. So they're demonstrating driverless cars here. So pretty cool. People saw my stream on driverless cars. Saying Doooovid's from Detroit. I'm a civil engineer, but I love technology. I like understanding how things work. And, so we're here in Detroit. Automotive engineering is the base here. That's still the base of Detroit's economy, the biggest sector. And even with the depletion of manufacture and the globalization of the supply chain, the fact is that automotive engineering is still widely most seen here in Detroit. When the cars were first made, almost all cars were made in Detroit. Now maybe 10% of cars are made in Detroit or whatever. but still makes Detroit the biggest center for automotive. Historically, there'd be a lot of Germans, and you probably see there'd be a lot of Germans, people speaking German, but there's been more globalized the status of engineering. So I hope people are watching. If they see this, I won't be able to read the comments. I'm using this new software, but you know, see some of the new cars. I never heard Asahi Kasai, probably Korean. Pretty cool. See, probably a former driverless car testing. You know, stuff that's not certified for the road yet, but the technology is already available. Lori Strum, Executive VP for slave classes. All these engineering conferences are semi-similar, where they have, you know, the leading experts giving lectures and classes, and at the same time they have this one's actually extremely expensive. And I was thinking it's kind of like music or chess. If you're talented, you don't need the lessons, and if you're not talented, the lessons don't help, which isn't true, because really effort helps a lot. And you could, like, learning to code basically, so they have these really expensive programs for learning to code, and you have to pay like thousands of dollars, and a lot of times the employers pay for it. So if you work at one of these firms, your employer would pay for
I would defer to you.
the conference, and you could hear classes like learning to code on different aspects of the business, and they have hundreds of seminars. But it says it's extremely expensive. So historical Toyotas. There's some interesting turbine, Chrysler, historical autos. Put this stuff out on display. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I had a lot of thoughts, you know, clear my mind. I was playing a lot of chess recently, which is like semi-waste of time, but it teaches the power of concentration, where, you know, just to be able to focus on one subject intensely at a deep level at a time, because, you know, we deal with a whole bunch of important issues, and they require lots of studies. See all my public study sessions, and just to be able to have an intense focus on one field at a time. You got the bigwig stage. Sometimes they even have, like, you know, the mayor of Detroit, the governor, might even have like the CEOs of companies, Ford and you know, whatever. I'm not sure if Harman, Denso. So here they have you know, some leading executives of some of the major technology auto companies. So not necessarily like GM, Ford, Chrysler, but you're talking suppliers, engineering firms like Denso. They actually have the chief technology officer of Ford Motor Company on stage right now. Ford himself might be here, might not. Although your reality, if you're an engineer, you're more interested in hearing the chief technology officer speak than you know, the financial elements of it, which is an important part of the company. But here's the automotive engineers, so the key focus is on the development of technology, the direction of technology. Food here. I'm going to go table to table and collect reading material. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to live stream that. I may live stream that. I'm going to say each year this gets more and more diverse, and there's two elements of the increased diversity. There's the diversity of Detroit itself and the people who are actually living here, people from around the world coming here, companies that have satellite offices that are opening up here, and then there's also just engineers from around the world who are coming to these conferences. So, you know, there is a relationship to multiculturalism and diversity, and you know, people who follow me on YouTube are probably most familiar with me arguing that, but actually I'm an engineer by training, and my beliefs on diversity, immigration, multiculturalism were largely informed by my engineering background. But you could see that you know, 10 years I've been coming to these conferences, and it get more and more diverse, especially like Indian, Chinese, and although these people may or may not be U.S. citizens. Let's check out what this is. A Supra, GR Supra. I don't know if this is driverless or just a model car, if it's something you could buy on the road. I'm not such a big like car expert in that. I mean, I don't understand more like combustion engines or technology than the actual brands or what's cool to drive. You know, this is simple Hyundai electric. Certainly the move here is towards electric vehicles. So you have some of the newest, latest, expensive sports cars. People see these gadgets like the spin street mopeds. Driver line systems. So AAM, hybrid, electric. So I mean, that's the main push right now. So driverless technology is cool, the latest sports cars. However, the main push right now is to electric, meeting like the cafe gasoline standards. And if it's interesting, you know, maybe I'll get the reading material and do a stream. I'm not sure how many engineers actually follow me, or if you want like an engineering 101 course that I'm gonna go over. So it's more you know, like I'm walking around as I see this, so kind of slow here actually. You know, this is just the expo floor, so people are in the high-paid events where they're actually going to the advanced seminars. So these are just the booths. Sometimes you have the heads of companies that will man their own booth, but a lot of times they're, you know, low-level employees. The most low-level employee is the one who actually mans the booth. So on the expo floor, sometimes is the lowest energy in the convention. And also you can see, like, you know, it's not that exciting to be an automotive engineer. You know, like occasionally you get to drive a sports car. A lot of the, you know, engineers, they can't even afford. Here's the University of Michigan, a solar car, my alumni, where I went to school. You know, so I guess this is the solar car that the students designed for some sort of competition. It's pretty cool. So I was in Michigan engineering, I was part of stuff like this.
I am very excited.
Michigan Tech North, looks like a snowmobile. So when you get into advanced engineering to actually design your own vehicle, you know, where the students test it, materials, steel business, a whole bunch of interesting things. Yeah, I'm going to walk around and collect reading material now, but it's going to get too heavy. So Korea, you notice a lot of Koreans here. So when I first started coming to this, there were much fewer Koreans coming to this. But now Koreans have become an extremely dominant force in technology. And factually, a lot of the latest gadgets are coming from Korea. And we don't even understand how that works here. You know, it's patented, and you just have to pay. So the engineers from Korea will demonstrate their technology, and they, you know, they'll explain a little bit, but I mean, it's patented, and basically you got to pay. And so the car companies that want to use the latest developments coming out of Korea will make agreements, patent agreements, or just buy the parts directly from the Korean suppliers. So, you know, historically, what would have been dominated by Germans is you know, been delocalized internationally. Although a lot of these Korean companies have German partners. And some of these people I haven't recognized. I haven't been to this convention for a few years because I'm a civil engineer, I'm not an automotive engineer. So, I'm going to get a complete walk around. I'm not sure if I'm going to do any interviews. You know, just a little ramble on just advanced connectivity. I'll probably come back here and speak to them. You know, some of the IT connectivity devices. And I pick up like thousands of pages of reading material at these events. And a lot of times, like, I don't even take as much reading material as I used to because, you know, I just have stacks and stacks, literally tens of thousands of pages of reading material that I've connected over the years. So I didn't really prepare something. If it was a different convention more related to what I do, I might have prepared, read through the book, seen all the companies, what they do. So walking around, I know kind of like what these companies are and what they do. But I didn't even know this was going on. I looked on the internet today and I saw this was going on.
Program that runs to
So what
identify
do we got today? We got
on my gateway. Now just think of the scenario where this hacker is sending in all these his own spoofed Mac ID, and he's trying to get into this network through the gateway. Processing is happening to identify.
So pretty interesting. I'm glad I came down. So I'm gonna go back to the other corner and go table to table like I usually do and collect reading material. And I'll probably stop the stream. I'm testing this new Switcher Studio software that's allowing me to stream with the new YouTube rules. And so I'll go table to table, hear a little bit, at least collect the reading material, a few pamphlets, speak with some people, hear some of the latest developments in engineering, the future direction of automotive technology, and a few interesting insights. See, they have the booklet here, the event guide. I didn't even look at the event guide before I came. So I would have had a better stream, if I had studied beforehand, got the event guide, went through, seen the company, the schedule, who's supposed to be here. And I've been coming to this long enough, the global supply chain is pretty complicated to know, what are the different companies, what do they do, what does it take to make a car, what are the different main parts. You have your tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 suppliers of different parts. And now with the new computer connectivity and the grid with electric cars or driverless cars, there's a lot more components involving the infrastructure and connectivity to the electric grid or driverless grid, that you have a lot of IT companies, and cars are basically computerized. I think it was in the 90s they require that you could plug in, and if you ever take your car to the shop and they plug the diagnostic equipment into your car, and your car is a central chip. So for the last 20 years, cars are basically computers, and that gets more and more complicated. More and more devices are powered by computers, and so I guess that's it. Usually it's interesting, the lubes and grease, different if you're an engineer or any specialty field, there's all these publications that specialize in things. So lubes and grease, there's whole magazines on grease and different things of expertise. And kind of joke a guy standing next to his machine who you're just a maker of one component. I got a lot of Indian friends, and I always kind of joke that because a lot of them will turn back to religion, and they come and they do advanced studies for engineering, and then they say you're just going to be another guy making some tiny component for Ford. And there's millions of people doing that. Ford's the big one here in Michigan, because GM and Chrysler had a little bit of a decline. But it could be any of these car companies, and even internationally, Ford may not be as competitive as they used to be. But you think all the millions and millions of people around the world that toil and struggle all day to just make one tiny component to put together to make one car. And obviously that's the grease that takes to make the economy go around. That's what it takes to be able to have these cool gadgets and equipment and technology that requires all these everybody doing their small function in the world in order to make the world work, make the world go around, and keep the economy working. And cars, one person can't really understand, even how a modern car is made. It's really beyond the ability of one person to understand, because there's so many different components. So me as a civil engineer, might have a better feel for this than your average person. Even your average engineer who's specialized and understands things that I don't understand. However, it's necessary. You know, say I did my part. I studied my field. I made my component. I signed off, and it's going to work. And you got to trust in the system that everyone else did the same. And you know, that's engineering. So it's hard to make the Society of Automotive Engineers exciting, but you know, make Detroit great again. And you know, there's a lot of converging things going on with multiculturalism, integration, things that I talk about constantly, and direction of technology, convergence of different fields of engineering, especially information technology, computer technology, infrastructure technology, with the automobile all converging together. If anyone saw my stream on driverless cars, autonomous vehicles, some of those exist already. You're saying, like, you walk back over, they're testing right now. You could get in a driverless car right here. You know, like Doooovid is a member. If I wanted to wait in line, I could probably even live stream it. I don't know. I don't really want to wait in line, but if I wanted to, I could wait in line and get in one of these driverless cars. And so that's a convergence of a whole bunch of different technologies coming together, from infrastructure, sensoring data, the actual cars, all coming together. And the reality is it requires international cooperation, that there is one nation couldn't make this stuff on its own. So there's different components. And it's not just the resources, like international resource consumption, where there's different minerals and compounds that come from all over the world. Let me at least grab the book.
Sorry.
So at least grab the book. So yeah, I'm not going to wait in line to go. Let's see, they got 3 people per vehicle, 6 to 7 minute ride, 45-minute wait estimated. So I'm not going to wait 45 minutes to get in the vehicle, but it's pretty cool. And you can see the steering wheel's moving. The driver is sitting in the driver's seat, but the steering wheel is moving automatically. I'm not sure if you can see that from what I was driving, but saying that even though there's someone in the driver's seat, that the steering wheel was moving automatically. So pretty cool. So the next people get in. It's a whole 45-minute wait. I'm not going to do it, but it's pretty cool. And you see the international group. These people are Japanese. We're going to get a picture real quick with the car where the next people go on. And you see the international cooperation that it takes to put this together. That Japanese companies or German companies, U.S. companies, Chinese, Korean, on their own would not be able to make this work. It's engineers from all over the world that have to combine forces that make this possible. So as I said, my beliefs in multiculturalism and immigration were actually informed from my background in engineering. And I apologize. I had my phone turned. This is my first time using it, so if the video was poor quality I'll have to see. I'm testing the software, so I was holding my phone one way, I just switched it the other way. YouTube actually doesn't allow you to do that. So you see there's actually no one in the driver's seat right now. The car's moving forward. Next group getting in. So pretty cool, pretty awesome. So I guess I'm going to sign off and collect the reading material. I'll check this later. Some of this for my own benefit, my own memory. I used to take pictures. Hey, God bless. Great show. I used to take pictures from here, and now I'm just switching to live streaming. I don't think anyone really looked at my pictures. I guess I'll keep on streaming till my hands get full. I'm just looking.
I will eat one if I'm desperate.
Hey, God bless.
You're not like,
I'll grab your pamphlet.
Yes, please.
Oh no, thank you.
yeah.
Okay, God bless, thanks.
Yes, you're right. I know.
Chrysler Engineering. So generic. I'm more interested in, you know, just learning as much as possible. Doooovid kind of just likes understanding how things works and thinking about it. I've made the points about streaming where it makes the stream different when you start to try to make money off of it. And you know, it's experience from conventions like this. It's a reality of everything. Where so here's a Cruise driverless revolution. Let's see if we get a close up inside. See, no steering wheel. This one has like the LiDAR and all the different sensors, the combined sensor. But you can see there is no steering wheel in this. There is no gas pedal in it. This is a fully driverless car. This one here also is probably joint, maybe driver assisted or both. But you see the difference here that this one is completely driverless. And you know, so the technology does exist. The regulation doesn't exist, that this wouldn't be legal to drive on the road. Fellow Yid here, look like a head covering, pretty cool to see. Tesla. So, you know, someone who saw my show, they're saying that the technology for driverless cars is already available, but you know, the safety regulation, can you put it on the road? There's currently not possible to drive them on the road as of yet. And you know, they have to have the convergence of regulation and a whole bunch of different things. Okay, so I don't even know what this company is, Asahi Kasai, which I'm guessing is Korean, and you know, form a driverless car. Try to get some reading material. Eventually I'm just going to stop streaming. I can't even tell if anyone's listening or not. And I'll watch this back later, and hopefully this video will benefit myself. So I guess I'm just going to stop streaming because it's going to be too complicated for me to talk to people and gather reading material and do it at the same time. God bless everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Make Detroit great again. You know, go Engineers.